Let's play samples. Hi and welcome. In the first video of this tutorial I explained what sampling actually is and that the Blofeld is just a sample player. In the second video we saw how to activate the sample function in the Blofeld. In the third video we pre-processed our samples to load them in the fourth video into the Blofeld, and now of course we want to play the samples. So let's do it. What we created in the last video were sample sets. So each sample set can consist of one or multiple samples and can be loaded into one oscillator. So I'm starting a new patch. Okay, simple patch. Now we go into our oscillator section. And what I mentioned before is that oscillator 1 and oscillator 2 both can have different sample sets. Oscillator 3 is just a basic oscillator which has the classic analog style waveforms but cannot have wavetables and also no samples. To load a sample into an oscillator you have to scroll all the way up to the sample area, and here you can see already the samples we created in the last video. Okay, so let's have a look. What you can hear clearly is that each area which is generated from a different original key or root key, all the areas sound different because they have different samples, and of course the processing the Blofeld does also leads to different sounds in the area where two ranges touch each other. So you can clearly hear where one area stops and the next one begins. The sample set car noises, which we created, contains a set of many different sounds. So as you can hear in the upper range, all the keys were generated from the same root key. So we have to find the range of our sample set. So we go down from the root key, which is this one. And in the lower area we have again all the rest of the keys generated from one root key. So we have two areas the upper and the lower area with the same root key, and in between every key has its own sample. And this can lead into very interesting results when you try to use the arpeggiator, and this is the reason why I created the sample set. And you can also modulate not only the sample which is used within the sample set, but you can also modulate the sample set of the oscillator. So you can change between different sample sets. For doing so, we can use, let's say, LFO1 with a sample and hold with the minimum speed. And we choose LFO1 as the modulation source, and as the modulation destination we choose this one, oscillator 1, wavetable or sample modulation. So it does not change the sample, but it switches from one sample set to another sample set, and the result is like this. So as you can hear, what the oscillator plays is not only what the original sample set contained, but also what the neighboring sample sets contain. So this can lead to very interesting results. Okay, and for the last two examples, I just want to to delete the modulation. We still have some delay, okay. And we go to the fourth sample set, which is the noise of the car keys. And the last example is, of course, the mellotron sound. So let's restart the patch. Okay. Again, initial patch. Again, oscillator 1. And now we go to the last sample set, which is mellotron. And this sounds like this. Again, you can hear that the sample ranges of the sample set were created from different samples. But in this case, the differences aren't as big as in the other example. And you can also apply vibrato, so you can also modulate the pitch of the oscillator with an LFO. And I want to show you just one last final trick. When you choose glide on this patch, you can generate very interesting results. So what you can hear is that you press one key, then you press another key, the portamento will be performed, but the second key which you press will be generated from the root key of the first key you pressed. So when you release the second key and play it again, the sound can be different because the root key of the second key is suddenly a different one. And you can use this to create very interesting monophonic lead sounds. So when we go back to the oscillator menu and we choose allocation mono. Okay, this was everything I know about Blofeld and the inbuilt sample player. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Because it was a lot of work for me, I would really appreciate if you could leave a like or a comment. So, see you next time, thanks for watching and have a nice day.